All right. If you have to pay money to some online grifter to give you advice on how to be a man, you are not a man and you will never be a man. I'm sorry that your upbringing was ruined, that your parents were fail. It is possible to pull yourself out of this through things like inductive and deductive learning, but paying someone to give you answers and advice on this is not the way. Most especially, when the advice that's being given, hang on, Brittany Venti impression. When the advice being given is how to coerce and emotionally manipulate girls, young girls, into having sex, how to trick them into thinking that they are in love with you because that way they won't leave you. There's nothing manly about that. It's kind of like guys that find out that they're low T. Now that's another thing, right? It could be the reason that you're such a beta cuck is that, or even a gamma for that matter, is that you're low testosterone. There are dietary ways, there are exercise ways you can attempt to get back to a normal level. And worst case scenario, there are supplements you can take to basically take more testosterone. The thing with that is people I know that have done that get pretty aggressive. Come on, bro, we're gonna do the thing. Nah, man, I don't feel like it. Yeah, bro, we're gonna do it. No, we're not. You can go do that. Get your fucking hand off my shoulder. But here's the thing. I don't personally need testosterone supplements. So here's the other thing. I'm going to go full anti-antichrist now. And yes, Andrew Tate is part of the Antichrist. So is Eliza Blue. There are a number of what you could call fractal iteration echoes of the beast and the harlot going on in the world. It's Revelation 18, I believe. So, in my daily life, just in matters of conversation, I talk about the things that I'm into. Some of it's political, some of it not. But when it comes to the fact that I helped rescue my stepdaughter, or chit-chatting with my coworkers about, while I'm doing dishes at lunch, and I got stuff going on, excuse me, in the background, and I got burps. Oh, yeah. The thing that most attracts females to you in an honest way is knowing the truth about evil in the world. Because a lot of girls and women would love to find a guy. And a lot of boys and young men are being demoralized by the school system. And in the vacant lot of their mind, this asshole Andrew Tate sets up shop. Gets them all affixed with the idea that this entirely superficial, surface level only matrix style analysis of reality is marginally accurate. But nothing else that he says is correct or true. Everything he says is how to hurt other people. And the reason I say he's part of the Antichrist is because you can obviously see the effect it's having on the conservative community. These people seem to want to defend this guy. They wanted Epstein to burn in hell for what he did to young teenage girls. But this other guy, because he said some bullshit about the Matrix, every single person that got permanently snared and could not rationally get out of the QAnon mentality, those are people I call Q-tarded, permanently damaged by that COINTELPRO program. These are the people that are now just white knighting Andrew Tate without even thinking about it. The follow the plan, trust the plan people. That's who's on the conservative end of things, who is defending this guy. So you have a bunch of people who were grandly deceived by what they thought was a great awakening. These are terms that all come from the book of Revelation, by the way. And you get this dude from Eastern Europe, a liar, claims to have answers to everything. Obviously granted power by some higher tier of the same evil force because he is allowed to operate. Read your book of Revelation, folks. The thing that most attracts women is intelligence, common sense, capability, right? Doesn't matter how good your dick works if you can't cook. If you don't know how to drive, if you don't know where you're going. So, quite a few females around me, none of whom I am in the running for. It's a workplace. It's customers and coworkers, right? But there are a lot of women that seem to take notice. I don't try and manipulate anyone. I'm not trying to get into anybody's pants or nothing, right? I'm just a guy who doesn't have an issue with his testosterone level, who gives a real serious shit about girls and women not being ruined, because that is the fundamental underpinning problem of the world. You know, they say behind every great man is an even greater woman. But that can't happen if they are all broken in the head from all the different types of abuse that these little weenie gamma and beta chud males that were ruined by the schools, brainwashed, wiped clean, and sent into the world completely confused. And this one asshole or this other asshole have some ideas that they say, hey man, I got the solution to your problems, give me money. And in return, what they get is instructions on how to attempt to mentally enslave young women, how to emotionally abuse and manipulate them into having sex, and how to use them for sex and attempt to profit off of that. And in that case, as with forcible rape, people who do that are not real men, nor can they ever be. So behold a real man. I don't offer advice in exchange for money. I don't pay money for advice. And through my own due diligence, my own intelligence, I treat women well. And I respect women. And guess what? They all look at me like they want in my pants. Just by being respectful. Isn't that the wildest thing? Who'd have thought? Who'd have thought? Treating women like people, caring about things that matter in a real way, not a fake way, not pretending, actually being in tune with your own emotions and sensitive to how you're feeling so you can be aware that maybe your anger has nothing to do with her. Maybe it has to do with something in your childhood. Maybe it has to do with something currently going on. How to make sure you don't misdirect that. That's what it is to be a man. Just think about it. Look at what's going on in the world. Stop trying the same shit that don't work over and over again, young man. Listen to what she has to say, and don't just act like you're listening. Actually listen. That was the thing when I was driving cab. I would listen to what the customers would say, and I would respond because I listened. And then later on in conversation, a different day, the same customer goes, oh, hey, how was that thing that you were telling me? Some of these ladies that were riding in the cab got a hold of my boss and told her, they said, I think this guy might be flirting. And I asked her, I said, what do you mean? They said, well, you listen. Think about that. How bad of a place has this become, this world? That a dude who just listens, pays attention, they think that's flirting. That's how far we've gotten. That's how desperate we are. God, a guy that just listens to my concerns and cares. That's all I want. Some guy with a receding hairline that he's obviously had some kind of surgery to attempt to repatch and fix. Coming out of Eastern Europe, from the human trafficking capital of the world, with his university on how to pimp minors, or anybody else that patterns after that same kind of thing. Guess what, though? Even like nasty bad teeth that I got, terrible, bitter attitude that I got, I still stand a better chance at an honest, positive relationship with any given female that I interact with that might like the fact that I listen. I don't have to pay some antichrist piece of shit money to tell me how to manipulate them, because I don't need to manipulate them. My character shows through, my integrity shows through, my actual masculinity shows through. And when it does, women take notice. You don't have to manipulate them, you don't have to lie to them, you don't have to trick them. I'm gonna tell you what, man. If you think getting laid is awesome, I'll tell you, there's other experiences too that are about as awesome. You think, well, yeah, but you don't blow your load. Dude, is that all you think about? Are you that tiny-minded? Are you that shallow that you think penis explosion is the best thing that ever existed? No, I'm sorry. No. Conversation with a woman or two. Just conversation in a comfortable environment where everyone just talks about whatever they're talking about and the conversation goes many places. And sometimes there's a little tension. But as long as everybody's listening, everybody's paying attention, everybody's actually communicating, experiences like that can definitely beat sex as far as emotional fulfillment goes. So don't go thinking that sex is the end-all, be-all. Don't go thinking that sex is the most important part of a relationship. It is not. It is communication. It is having something in common. It is listening, paying attention, and being respectful. That's the core of a good relationship. So until you can build that with someone who then you are comfortable enough to become intimate enough to have sex with, that is the correct order. Until you're able to do that, you will never have a relationship that lasts more than a month or two, and especially if it begins with sex. That's how it is. But yeah, it's really pathetic. I'm watching Benny Johnson just deep throat fellatio on Andrew Tate. He is all about that dude. And it's like, what the fuck is wrong with some of these people? Listen, honestly. Reply honestly. Be respectful. Be looking out for things. So it's like, dudes being it's not like a white knight thing, but it's like, hey, man, if this guy's fucking with you, let me know. If this bothers me, you say something. That's all it takes. Really. So, yeah, I'm going to be done with it here. It's blowing my mind at this shit, but I am telling you, the shit that they are teaching people is not the way. That is the bottom line of it. That is not the way. I have seen the way, I walked the way. If I wasn't in the mindset that I am of remaining celibate, yeah. I could go with several. Just by being me. Not like I'm superior, I'm the greatest. No. All I'm saying is like I just already said. I listen, I care, I keep on the lookout, and I am respectful. And as a consequence, that makes me automatically a full step above for desirability, for value as a man. On top of the fact that I'm a literal jack of all trades. I can take any food ingredients and turn them into anything. I can fix just about anything. That's what a lot of women want in the world. They want a guy that is capable, a guy that can do the things that they can't, or a guy that they can help do the things that he needs help with, or however they want it to be. dude that can cook you up a decent meal, doesn't expect you to be in the kitchen all day. That's the kind of shit that most women are looking at. Not a guy that says, I want you to make me a sandwich and then hang out and suck my dick while I play video games. That is not a relationship. Now, yes, there is a time and a place for things like that to happen. However, that is not the role of the woman in the relationship. So anyways, I said I was done. I'm cutting it short here. Beware of these assholes in the world, dude. There's a lot of them. And anybody who tries to say that that guy taught them how to be a man, you got to figure that person is probably secretly raping someone somewhere, because nothing good coming out of this whatsoever. Andrew Tate is, I don't want to call him the beast, because anytime you call anyone the beast, you end up finding out that there is someone else. But this dude is note for note following the melody.